It starts the way these things always will. Investigator, failed rapper and philanderer extraordinaire, Dean Camaro had one foot out the city. The young detective had just made good on a halted heist at the Jewelry Museum over by Central Park, and the board had put together a real nice commission for his services. It was enough to pay for a trip somewhere warm and quiet, but before he had time to buy the ticket, they'd splashed his name over the front page of every social media outfit in town. Jewel Pro stopped by Hip Hop. Babyface Private Eye gets a cute cut for himself. They had a clear shot of his face, ran his business name under all the captions. Dean Camaro, private investigator. The details of the reward were all there, in black and white and pixels, too. He had $500,000, a half-pack suitcase, and a phone full of texts from old girlfriends looking for a piece. And that's when she walked in the door. To Mick Olivia Davenport, 5'5" with brown eyes, 5'8" in Louboutin stilettos, sweet and caramel colored as a dish of creme brulee with liquid eyeliner on top. But he didn't have time for all that. Miss? This office is closed. You looking for the dentist down the hall? Dean didn't look up as he carefully placed a new pair of white Nike Air Force Ones atop his luggage. My father paid for 10 years of orthodontics. You think I'd get my maintenance in Midtown? She pulled the door shut behind her and crossed the room to his desk, sat down on a battered chair in her sundress looking like she already owned the place and all its occupants. My friends call me Tame, she said. And I need your help. She looked up at Camaro, her almond eyes deep brown like his own, the corners framed with long, pretty lashes. She had Dean's attention, suitcase be damned. Tame laid out her problems with only a few sniffles. Hers wasn't a unique story. Dean sensed she'd already rehashed it to her girlfriends time and time again. Mr. Davenport, it appeared, was asking for a divorce. The two had some legal documents between them. And if Tame couldn't prove that Mr. Davenport was up to something rotten, then she'd lose out on her part of the real estate fortune she and Davenport had amassed flipping timeshares in Montego Bay. I know he's up to no good, Tame purred. We were at La Branch the other day and when I came back from the bathroom, I saw a photo opened up on his phone. She covered her face with her smooth hands. He was swiping right. Tame cried. Dean watched her sit there a moment, her narrow little shoulders shaking. He could see them both in the cherry oak mirror he had hung to give the office a nice stately feel. Camaro gave himself a hard look. He was 27, his hair spinned in 360 waves. Every day he wore a plain white t-shirt that showed off his arms and chest and Ray-Ban aviator glasses even in the winter. The ladies knew him for his smooth brown skin and a tooty grin kept him looking boyish and clean. Dean caught himself already imagining what the newly single Tame would look like on his arm. She was 32, 5 years his cougar and single again. Dean sighed. So, what? You just need proof of him fooling around? She nodded. Modern love, huh? I know it sounds terrible and tacky. I'm sorry. I just read about you online and you seemed like the best there is. I mean, you're the man who foiled the Aswan diamond heist. Surely this should be an easy case. She switched position of her legs, thigh over thigh, then said, open and shut. Dean's detective mind did a few mental calculations. If he played this right, He could have proof in a day's time and add an extra seat on the plane for Tame. Dean could tell she was sweating him. He plotted to take her with him after he impressed her by solving the case. The trip would distract her from her sorrows. "I'll do it." "You will?" Tame's eyes glimmered as she stood up from the chair. "When can you get started?" "Now? Tonight? Come have a drink with me and I'll give you all the information you need." Tame insisted. She hugged Kamara softly, pressing her breast into his white tee until they rested against his chiseled abdomen. Din couldn't help it. He gave her the full grin and thought of asking her right then and there if she'd prefer a window or an aisle seat on their flight to paradise.